Today I'd like to introduce the RDCA, Rhythm Database Compliance Analyzer, the medical database comparison and analysis software developed by WhaleTech. This software performs comparisons with databases required by IEC 60601-2-47. Let's dive into a demonstration. First, load the test annotation file generated by the DUT algorithm. Here I select to load an entire folder with files using the MIT database to test. The MIT database contains 44 files to be compared, and the loaded files are as shown on the screen. With numerous types of databases, how does the RDCA automatically determine which database and which record it is? It's because the file names contain specific numbers, such as 100. The RDCA will automatically interpret it as the 100th record in the MIT database. There are 5 databases: AHA, MIT, NST, CU, and ESC. Each database has its own file name with different numbers. Therefore, as long as the loaded file names correspond to the numbers in the database, the RDCA can automatically determine which database and record they belong to. Hence, it's recommended to include the corresponding number to the file name of Test Annotation File generated by the DUT algorithm. After the RDCA confirms which database the files belong to, it will automatically determine the file format. According to the medical standard, there are MIT and AAMI/AHA formats, including binary and text files. The files currently loaded are text files, and the RDCA automatically identifies them as the AHA format. By clicking the question mark icon, you can view a detailed description of this format. Once the format and database are confirmed, you can start the comparison. That is, if all 44 files have correct numbers in their names, it's easy to load them into the RDCA all at once. Otherwise, you'd have to manually select the format and database for each file one by one, which can be inconvenient. Click Run to start the comparison. Before comparison, the Analyze configuration window provides 2 functions. One crucial function is Timing Synchronize. Since the test annotation file is generated through the hardware and algorithmic processing by the ECG machine or directly calculated by an algorithm, it may have a time shift. Due to the time shift, the test annotation file and the reference annotation file are no longer synchronized, so timing synchronize must be done. I'll explain this function in more detail later. The second function is to select the test items. The test items are required by IEC 60601-2-47, YY0885, and EC57. For example, there are 5 mandatory test items in IEC 60601-2-47, and the optional test items are also 5. You can select which items to test. Select IEC 60601-2-47, check QRS and VEBI, and then click Start. The RDCA will automatically complete the comparison of all test items of QRS and VEBI. The file 100 has a 100% match comparison result, while file 101 has 99.93% and 99.8%. Why is it 99.93%? Click 99.93% to show the reference label, represented by N, S, V, F, and Q in uppercase, and the algorithm label calculated by the DUT algorithm, represented by AN, S, V, F, Q, O, and X in lowercase. In the table, blue represents QTP, which stands for QRS true positive, and pink represents QFN, which stands for QRS false negative. After calculating the ratio, you will find the percentage, which is 99.93%. Let's compare the algorithm label calculated by the DUT algorithm with the reference label. For example, the uppercase N and lowercase n are completely matched. In some cases, like here, the reference label is uppercase S, but the algorithm identifies it as lowercase n, so it's incorrect. You can click the field to see when the error occurs. By clicking the time field, you can see the original waveform with the uppercase S as the reference label and lowercase n as the algorithm label. Then, you may adjust the algorithm based on the waveform until both results match. So, this is a convenient tool for detecting errors. After completing the comparison of all 44 files, click Report, then click QRS plus VEB. You will see the comparison results of all 44 files in the report. This report also provides the gross statistic and the average statistic required by the standard. These values are statistics of comparison results and need to be submitted to the FDA. The report can be exported as text.txt, comma-separated values.csv, Excel and Word files. That's the entire comparison process. Let's return to the timing synchronize function and use a file with timing issues as an example. After selecting the file, click Run, then click Detailed Sync. Currently, only 27.3% match the reference annotation file. The uppercase N represents the reference label, while the lowercase n represents the algorithm label. There's a long time shift right from the beginning. Take a look at the end of the waveform. All labels are lowercase n. Rewind the waveform for a few seconds. You'll notice that the reference label has ended, but the algorithm label continues, indicating time shifts between each reference and algorithm label. The RDCA can correct these shifts. Click AI Sync. The RDCA will match the first reference and algorithm labels as well as the last labels. It then adjusts the time shifts for the remaining labels to achieve a 100% match. After synchronizing the labels, return to the Analyze configuration window to start the comparison. We've come to the end of our brief introduction to the RDCA. Thank you for your time.